Hey guys, thanks this here. I just wanted to quickly go over the patch notes for the 1.0.4 build that went live last night. I haven't read any of these, so we'll just be going over them real quick. Fixed an issue with the damage multiplier for enhanced frozen orb was not applied correctly. Okay, good for frozen orb. Fixed an issue where enemies with the vortex effects would damage through immunity. Interesting. Fixed an issue where the elixir of expertise was reducing resource cost by 10% instead of displayed 20%. I don't, I don't know. Some of those elixirs that you can't craft yourself, I don't really get. Like it's so weird to have like elixirs that's essentially build enabling, but then you can't use them reliably. I mean, you can, I guess, farm them in hell tides, but not reliably, right? So I don't know. But I mean, at least they fixed it so that it's doing what it actually says, which is good. Fixed an issue where the damage bonus from the Paragon subdue glyph would be applied to any target instead of only vulnerable targets. What? Okay, well, that's a nerf to certain builds, I guess. Fixed an issue where the Baron's Will ability would briefly stop channeling when a cooldown skill was cast while using it. I played Whirlwind Barb and I didn't notice it with the shouts, which are instant cast, but like um with the ultimate, the Berserker Rage, which is not instant cast, that did stop, which I assumed was correct, but I guess we'll have to test that. We can issue with a guaranteed overpower buff from Baron's Red Striker's aspect would be consumed upon getting any other buff. Well, that sucks, but good they fixed it. We can issue with a player character would freeze when using the Rogue's Shadow Step ability used outside the range of your intended target. Huh. We can issue where the player could not rotate when casting a channel spell. Okay, we can issue where the curse scrolls in Fields of Hatred had a lower cooldown than the displayed 5-minute cooldown. Curse scroll. Oh, yeah, okay. We can issue where the aspects that deal flat damage are printed through the codex of power skill with power level instead of item power. Well, okay, so the thing is, any codex, like any aspect, any legendary power that deals flat damage that doesn't, like, the way they scale sucks right now. Especially with this fix. It actually kind of was okay when I scaled with player level. Like I noticed that on my, like I did like a Thorns Barbarian a little bit, and I noticed that the ability that gets you Thorns while berserking scaled very lightly with your player level. So if you crafted it from the codex, which you could do, it would obviously be the lowest cost, and then um, as you leveled up, it would, increase slightly, I guess, to continue to be the lowest value, which was decent because you wouldn't have to go and re-imprint like every time you leveled up or whatever to like have it stay relevant to your level. But with this fix, now you have to do that. And even worse is the builds that rely on those flat damage aspects that are not in the codex. They have to continually farm them and find better roles for them and save all those aspects for them because it doesn't scale, which I just don't get it. Like you have builds that use percentage based or like just just static effects based aspects which are gonna scale automatically with level or they scale with your power automatically because it's percent based, it's static, whatever. And then there's these flat damage powers which just won't scale, and if you're not lucky enough to get a drop, then you kind of, I mean, you just get fucked, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I hope I was really hoping that they were gonna address this in a way where they, I mean, I just think the way to make it would be that the damage number should just scale up to your weapon damage, right? Um, yeah, I just think that's the way to go with that. Anyway, fixing your with Necromancer's Shadow Mage is worth applying extra shadow damage through the Shadow Blight key passive. Okay, so this actually, I'm pretty happy to see that. One of my first characters that I played was the Necro. I didn't level it too high, but I was trying to do like Shadow Blight with like the mages and trying to like really buff that up. Um, with like a minion Shadow Blight build, but I mean, it felt like it was working, but obviously I then found out that it wasn't. So the fact that it felt like it was working and it wasn't means that this is gonna make it feel pretty good now. Weakness 0, where cheat death effects will not trigger if you died while mounted. Oh, I wonder if that's also the potion. Oh man, there's some sad hardcore deaths right there. Weakness 0, where a traversal wouldn't appear during the Blind Eye quest. Because for the most judgment would spawn before the player enter the encounter. Fix multiple issues with the quest progress. Okay, I'm just gonna skip over these because I don't really care. UI could be interesting. Fix an issue with the QR code used for account linking. Nope. Issue with the imprint cost related costs would appear inaccurately displayed. Oh, that's actually interesting. I didn't know that, but I guess you wouldn't, right? Unless you unless it was displaying a cost and it wouldn't let you apply it, and then it turns out that's because it was showing too cheap of a cost. And you actually didn't have the materials, but the UI looked like you did. Fixed an issue where players on console will be unable to navigate the shop after using the More Platinum button. Okay. Issue with the upgrade glyph tab wouldn't close after moving away from the awakened glyph stone. Okay. I mean, like you couldn't close it, or just that it wouldn't do it automatically, because I mean, I don't know. I definitely didn't encounter that at all. But doesn't mean I didn't encounter most of the bugs, so that's kind of not a point. For a skill, for a skill unlocked by item contribution did not have an assign skill button in its tooltip. Interesting. I didn't know there was an assign skill button. Trading a partial stack while playing with the controller would display full stack in the tooltip. Yeah, that's a problem. Fixing issue with a weekly reward cache for defeating Webos would display available if there was an active whisper for defeating the boss, and even when the cache had already been claimed. Yeah, I noticed that. I wasn't sure if it was like, yeah, that was weird. And then the gameplay adjustments, which was that Helltide just cannot drop unique items. The boss, Winner Brawl, and Zurich have had their health pools and damage output reduced. What bosses are these? The cap for crafting materials has been increased by a factor of 10. Let's go. Alright. Overall, pretty good patch notes, of course. So no tuning, which I suppose was kind of to be suspected. But I guess I was hoping for a little bit, but that's just because it's always interesting to have a little bit of a shake-up, like, not a shake-up, but like just a small adjustment, like, you know, just tapping those outliers with some slight changes. Obviously, some of the bug fixes are gonna help a little bit, like, I don't know, Whirlwind might be a little bit off because of it, or maybe not. Like, the thing is, you're using, well, at least in the build I'm doing, I'm using the gloves, so that when I stop channeling, I do like a burst. And I don't know, it's weird to play around those gloves, but if you had like natural breaks of like a millisecond when you cast like a shout, which again, I don't think I did, but let's say I did. that this would actually maybe potentially be a small nerf, because it would, the way I read this is that you would stop briefly, so you'd stop, maybe a millisecond and then rechannel, which is faster than you could do it yourself if you like let go of whatever button. I'm using right click for the spin, and then press it again. That would, no matter how fast I am or whatever, it's gonna be delay on my part. It's gonna be delay on the PC part, on the latency part. So it would, it would probably come down to like at least half a second. I mean, maybe not that much, but this is potentially a small nerf. I don't know, with the gloves at least. The other gloves, it's a buff. Yeah, and then the Shadow Mage one, is a buff, of course. Yeah. Looking forward to seeing what we get to see for season 1 moving forward. Yep. Take care, guys, and look out for more videos on Diablo 4.